Hi. All right. I was on mute.
You were muted.
Thanks,
That
Alexis.
is the truth.
Alexis says I look good today. I took a shower and did my hair for you guys. I mean, it's a big
I know.
deal.
I did shower and my hair looked a lot nicer, but it's so muggy here and damp that my hair got like frizzy. And I was like, it's just happening. This is what's happening.
Yes. The woes of humidity.
Yes.
So rude.
Where financial pros become CEOs. Go live. All right. Let's get this party started because I always feel like it happens a lot faster than I think it does. And I'm always like waiting, right? So hi guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today I am here with the workflow expert, my friend, my client, the queen of all the workflow things, queen of Taxdome specifically, she works with. And if you don't know her, get to know her, please. And you're going to get to do that today. And so whatever questions you have for her, feel free to ask away. If you're joining us live on Zoom, we are in Zoom. You're welcome every single week to get on these Zoom rooms. If you want to be intimate, if you want to hang out with us right on Zoom, you can do that. We then, of course, stream it right into the Facebook group, but we're on Zoom together every single week. And so if you want to be part of this, get registered, get the registration sent out to your email. But today we're here with Jamie and specifically, we're going to talk about Jamie growing her business so fast and how she did that, what that looked like. And I have to believe she's going to have some amazing nuggets and advice for you all today. And so, Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and how you got started with your business?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa, for this opportunity. I love talking with you about all of these things, like marketing. Like, this was not my forte. So how I got started, I spent 10 years in healthcare IT. I was a project manager, was doing implementations of software. And in 2017, I was introduced to the wonderful world of online marketing through Beachbody. So it was, I had never been exposed to entrepreneurial life. My parents were both employees. We grew up in an agricultural town. So there was a lot of people that owned their own businesses, but to me, it was like driving tractors and picking fruit. So that's what I knew was like entrepreneurialism. And I got introduced to Beachbody through Facebook, of course. Someone said, I'm doing this thing and there's this opportunity. I was like, why not? And so I started opening that door. And when I opened that door, it like the whole world like turned on. Basically, I was introduced to personal development. I was introduced to opportunity to make money myself with, unlimited potential. Now, I was not good. I was making like $20 a month, but I was paying for my shakes and I was paying for my workouts, and I got really fit for my wedding and it felt really good. And I had a really fit pregnancy and all the things that came with it. And I think the thing that was the best was I was just introduced to new things. And so I started my like entrepreneurial world in 2014. And I just kept at it. I tried new things. I was a life coach for a while. I was a business coach for MLM. I wanted to create a babysitting service business. I wanted to do meal prep service. I mean, like all of this random crap that just kept downloading into my brain at these random times. And I just tried out, and I usually didn't have the guts to actually like make it happen. And I turned 40 in 2020. And
what? Stop it. I did not realize that. You are beautiful. Not that when you turn 40, you're suddenly become somebody who can't be beautiful. That sounds terrible. Right. But I didn't realize that you were 40. Like, I just didn't realize that. I just assumed, everyone's the same age as me, but
I still feel 21, if that makes any good, like that's how, I still feel young and spry. And so when I turned 40, I kind of got this like give no shits. There's something that switches. So for all of you that are like dreading turning 40, don't. Like it literally, like if you give no shits now, you're going to be double down at 40 and it's going to feel really good. And so I kind of hit that and I was like, I'm turning 40. I need to do something. So it started with me going back into Beachbody randomly enough. And I did it because I was just like, I want to get fit. I knew it felt good. The community was great. Like the personal development. And so I did that for a while and I actually blew up. Like I did really well. I was making thousands of dollars a month. It felt really good. But I was also making 6 figures in my business. And LaShonda says it happens again at 50. I am here for that.
Let's go. I'm like, this is interesting to me because I gotta say, when I turned 30, it happened. Like at 30, I was like, I give 0 Fs. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks about me. So I'm really excited to see what happens at 40 and 50. Because at 30, I was like, what? People have opinions? Like, don't care. Like I did not care about anyone's opinion at all. I think my mom went through that at 50 where she finally stopped caring about people's opinions. But for me, it happened definitely at 30. I was like, oh, 30, it's everything went out the door. I was like,
Amazing.
Take your opinion wherever you'd like to take it, but it doesn't bother me. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear this. Everyone is confirming this. So guys, be excited. Be excited for these milestone birthdays. So when I hit my milestone birthday, I was like, I'm gonna get in the best shape I can in the next few weeks and like feel really good. And I did that. And I just kind of kept spinning. And I then was randomly listening to a podcast one day where they were talking about how people were setting up systems for other businesses, like online businesses. And I was like, wait, people do this? And so I like got in, I was like, I do this, like, this is a potential. And I was also working a crap ton in healthcare IT during the pandemic. Like I was responsible for some really huge projects. I was burning out. I was also running my side businesses. And I was just like, something has to change. Like, this is not right. And so I found my mentor at that time. And she introduced me to the system side and doing VIP days. So I was able to like fit that into my business or my working life. And I would just take PTO days and I would go make 3, 4, 5 grand. And I was like, this works. And so I did that for a while. And then I started like really like getting a foothold, setting up Dubsado, which is an amazing tool, has helped a ton of online professionals, like online entrepreneurs, business coaches, creatives, all the things. And so I was setting up for pretty much anyone that needed help setting it up. And I was doing a VIP day. It was really stressful, but I got it done. And I started like kind of like doing some like self-marketing kind of things you tell us not to do. Like, who would want to get on a coffee call and talk about this, whatever. But serendipitously, I was introduced to this woman who is now my partner in my business. And she was a tax professional. And she was like, hey, I just signed up and got Dubsado set up by somebody else, but I'd be totally glad to like be a market research call. She totally understood the online life. And I was like, okay, cool, let's get on the phone. And so we got on the phone in October 2020. And she was the only person in a group of 30,000 people that commented. So this is like serendipitous thing number 1. And I was like, sure, let's jump on the call. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. So we got on the phone. We chatted. We just really hit it off. She was down in San Diego. And I was like telling her about my stuff. And she was telling me about her experience, how much she paid. Like she gave me the dirt. And that's who she is. So Jessica Smith, if you guys don't know her, she might be watching right now, but she's the cat's meow when it comes to like tax planning and educating other tax professionals. And she's so giving. So she was that way with me.
She's also totally hilarious, by the way. Like I love following her because she's so funny. She posts some hilarious stuff. And I just like to, because I appreciate humor. So then I like post my little funny comebacks and funny stuff on top of it. I just love following her for that.
So good. So good. And she's like that in person too. And she's so smart. So smart. And so we just like connected and we just kind of stayed in touch. We were Instagram friends following each other and we just stayed in touch. And then, what is it called? The radio thing. See, it's already gone because it's not 2021, Christmas of 2020, going into New Year 2021. It's the thing on the phone, the audio only. What is it called?
Voice message? Boxer?
No. It's like it's a social media app. Sorry guys.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Clubhouse. Thank you. Yes, Alexis got it too. Clubhouse. Yeah. So, but it was when it was huge, when people would spend like 24 hours a day on it because they were like, I'm getting so much promotion, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I should try it. And number 1, I failed because I was jumping onto what was the bandwagon rather than spending my time doing the thing that counts, which was social media. And I wasn't doing what Alyssa says. I didn't know Alyssa at the time, but was definitely not doing what Alyssa says. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start a Clubhouse, like weekly webinar, like weekly meeting. And I asked Alyssa, or excuse me, Jessica, to come in and be an expert with me and talk about tax planning, because I was geared towards coaches and online entrepreneurs, and she was serving the same market. And so I was like, come and join, we'll talk about tax planning and see what we have happen in Clubhouse. No one showed. So we sat on the phone for like 45 minutes, just yakking away, and nobody showed up into our room. And I think one person did, but it was like a total creeper, and we just blocked him. So we just continued our conversation, and she was like, hey, I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in. I've been meaning to like reach out to you and talk to you about this anyways, but I just started this new tool similar to Dubsado, but I'm setting up and doing a webinar in a week. And I have a bunch of my colleagues are going to come and watch. And she's like, if you're interested, maybe we could like do something there. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, you keep me posted. So a couple weeks later, she's like, okay, let's get on the phone and talk about this. Cause I did the webinar. And now people want this built out. And I have no idea. I have no idea what to do. And it was going into tax season. So it was also like not like the prime time to like be spending things out. And I'm sorry, I'm spending so much time on this. I hope this is helpful to people. But all of a sudden it was just like the door, like I found my niche. And I'm like, Jessica, you don't understand. I have an accounting degree. I have experience in setting up softwares. I've done Dubsado, which is one of the hardest to set up out there because it's just very complex and like lots of moving parts. And she's like, well, you can go check it out. So she allowed me to see what she was building and watched her webinar and like all the things she was doing. And I was like, my mind just exploded. It was like one of those, like, again, serendipitous, where it was just like, there's a niche. People are saying they need help with this. She's already figured out how the system can work in her practice. And so we partnered together, and she showed me how the system can work. And so there's several things here that I want to call out to anyone. Number one, find a partner, a referral partner that can serve you in these types of capacities. Because while yes, the social media is amazing, also having a referral partner that is serving a similar group or serving the same niche that you want to work in, or have the skills in or the experience in, like finding that niche, find the people that are also serving that niche. So for Jessica, she just is a natural communicator and connector. So she comes in. Oh, I look like I'm frozen. Am I okay, Alyssa?
You are frozen. Maybe try turning your camera off and turn it back on.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Back. We had some internet outages yesterday.
You're frozen again.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go down.
Uh-oh. Well, as far as finding referral partners, this is definitely something that I recommend. This is part of like the research, right? Like, who else is serving my niche? Who else should I be spending time with? Who else should I be talking to, right? And I think this is this is part of the reason that niching is so incredibly important. And there's a lot of fear around niching. There's a lot of fear around like, oh, well, I don't want to cut people out. By niching, sometimes what it looks like is you have the ability to target people more closely and make partner relationships work for you, right? So for example, we do a lot of partnership relationships and affiliate relationships with people who have similar audiences. And that's been really, really helpful for us. I'm just gonna remove Jamie from there, and there she
Okay.
is again.
I'm back. I'm gonna have to do it on my phone. My computer is like completely frozen, so it must be my internet crashed. So I'm on cellular now, so hopefully it still works. But
yeah, that's fine. So I was kind of riffing on finding referral relationships. So one of the things that I recommend is, if you're in accounting, if you're in bookkeeping, if you're a tax provider right now and you serve a specific niche, who's doing marketing for them? right? Who serves them as a lawyer, right? Find those relationships and find those, or if you're not a CPA, find a CPA who is already serving them. Build those relationships with those people to collaborate and help each other, because most people are, especially if you both are growing and you're both open for collaboration. By the way, like, there is at no point where most competitors or similar serving niches aren't open for this. I know for myself, like Andrew Hunsicker, right? He's cannabis dope CFO. Him and I are like always talking about how we can collaborate, how we can help each other, how we can serve each other. We talk about when we have clients that overlap, we talk about those clients and like what they're doing and how we could both support them, or I'll send my clients who are super interested in the cannabis niche, I send them to him, right? Or if he has people who they're just not making it in his specific niche and his specific program, he'll send them over to me, right? And this naturally happens when you're partnering with the right people, right? And so this is something that you can be doing for yourself. I think there's like, for some reason with the accounting, tax, bookkeeping niche, there's like this big emphasis on competition. The reality is that's coming from a space of lack, and people that have abundance mindsets, people that are higher up where we've evolved, we don't have that mindset. We don't feel that way. Like, I'm open for collaboration and relationship and partner relationships. Like, Jamie's on this call today and we're talking about my program, and next month she's going to be back on one of my calls, because we're going to talk about her program and how you can join her program. And like, we just go back and forth and do these things because what we want to do is we want to serve the community better, right? And so when it comes to referral partners and when it comes to building relationships within your niche, the focus isn't about you. It's not about the referral partner. It's about, are we serving the niche? Are we serving our community better and making our community better? So I was just riffing on that while you were taking a break. But so what's number 2?
Yeah, so that's, I love that you're sharing that. And I think too, like I'm also like gonna loop back in your program on this. When people go out and they're sharing their expertise and they're becoming a leader in the role that they're in, you're going to naturally see these people either like sneaking on you and like learning more about you. But if you can then also use that status that you're starting to develop in your little circle of the internet, like social world, start seeing like who's in your friends group or your friends list or is watching you in your groups, whatever, that you can start reaching out to and be like, hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm really working on being the expert, and I want to be the expert for you and your clients. And how can we work together to do that? There's such value in that. And as you start being seen more, because you're being seen, right? Like, all of a sudden these people are going to be like, oh yeah, I've been seeing your stuff. It's been really great. So you're starting to already develop trust in that relationship before you ever even reach out to them, because you're doing the posts, the 7 magic posts are happening. You're going to find that that's a huge opportunity for you. So so
for those of you who don't know what the 7 magic posts are, we can drop a link for that. No, it's fine. It's actually a good plug for our funnel. We have a funnel that you can buy the 7 magic posts, and then I would recommend buying the boot camp that's at the end of it. So team, if somebody can grab, I think it's 7magicposts.com, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm going to share about how that transformed my life, because it really did. So Jessica and I, like, we connected. She was like, hey, this is going to be really great. And I also started this Facebook group where we did the free the training, and I just kind of have been supporting people there. So I jumped in. I just started like being in the group. I started being supportive. I started like just being the expert in this group that Jessica created. And people started coming to us. So we just organically started growing, and it was really fantastic. But I was doing VIP days for my other clients and my other kind of business. And I was also learning about this new niche and this new tool and how I could support people. And so I had this group that was growing, but I didn't know what to do with it. And so in June of that year, Alyssa was running one of her boot camps. And I bumped into Alyssa, of course, because of the just being in that world and starting, like, Facebook's like, oh, you need to know about this person. And I was like, okay, let's see what she's got. And so I found her group. I found like what she was talking about. And I just like, Alyssa broke down social media for me in a way that I had never had it broke down before. I had bought so many programs and I had done so many different things to try and figure out how I can make social media easy. And I felt like every time I did it, they'd be like, and you're going to go and you're going to do this. And like, they would skim the top and there was like still this like huge mountain of stuff below it. And it was so confusing to me that I didn't know how to make it happen consistently. I would do it for like a week and then it would fall off. It just happened time and time again. And so I joined Alyssa's boot camp. I learned amazing things. I followed and did it for a couple weeks, admittedly. And then of course, being a mom and working and all the things, it fell off again. But I was starting to build the momentum. I now had the framework and I was taking what Alyssa had taught me and I was doing most of it. And I was doing it more consistently. Our group grew from 300 people when I joined it in February to, I think we had 1,400 by August. So we grew really fast for what I thought was really fast. I mean, that's not like crazy fast, but it was fast, like adding 700 people completely organically by me just posting into this group and people seeing value. I started doing done for you one-on-ones and I started doing small group guided workshops. And so I was doing them monthly and we started growing and people started getting to know us, which was really great. And then people kept saying, well, like, do you have self-course? How do you have, like, what do you have out there? And I was like, well, maybe we can build a course. So I started building the course and I saw Leslie just asked a question, like, how did I grow the group that fast? Consistently showing up and providing value. We were entering a niche where there was a huge need for the work that we were doing because nobody was talking about automation like we were in the industry. We were standing out as experts because I was leaning into my experience in healthcare IT where health or patient experience is critical. And I was talking about how client experience is critical in automation for the accountants and tax professionals. And so we just kept talking about this and relating it to the tool that we were using, which was TaxStone. And so we would provide the value on client experience is key, automation is powerful, here's what it can do for you, and here's a tool that can do that for you. And we just kept talking about it over and over and over. And we started providing services and people started talking about the services we were providing to their colleagues. So I think naturally, Leslie, it started to grow through word of mouth and people started sharing in their communities and they started talking about how we could help others in their communities outside of our little Facebook group. And that was huge. Jessica was also seen as an expert and as a leader in her Facebook groups. And so she was able to also help funnel people to us and be like, hey, if you want to learn more about automation, we have this group, so come on over and hang out. But also Facebook was rewarding us. We were growing quickly. We had so many people come in and say, Facebook recommended you. I was just looking through my Facebook feed and here was this really in-your-face title of a Facebook group, which was Tax Pros, Automation, and Workflows. And I was like, I got to click on that to see what it is because that sounds like something I need. And it sounds like it might address my pain point. So I think that was a really powerful thing too, is a tip. Name your Facebook group, something really obvious to the person that you serve. Like Alyssa's is exactly what to post, or was exactly what to post.
It was.
And that drew me in, right?
Yeah. And I changed it mostly because I changed my group from exactly what to post to, what's the name of my Facebook group now? Where financial pros become CEOs, because I was getting people that didn't understand that we didn't do just more than marketing. Like our mastermind, our higher level mastermind, which Jamie is in, she's in our mastermind. And so I actually wanted to address, like, Leslie's like, well, how did you grow your group? A lot of the stuff that we were helping Jamie with is addressed in our mastermind as well. And so it's like, she wasn't just like, guess and check, hopefully this stuff works. But we were assisting her with this within our mastermind. And so in our mastermind, we help with strategies, marketing strategies, leadership in your company, like how to build a team, right? And then also now it's paid ads, funnels, things like that. And so I was kind of like being pegged down as like, all I could show people was how to post and like do organic marketing. And people were like, oh, well, I didn't even know that you did all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah. And so that's how we ultimately ended up changing it.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of what happened with Jamie's group growth is exactly what she said, where it's like, you pick a specific niche, you're solving a specific pain point, right? And saying, I'm going to help you solve this, and it's all going to happen in this group. And so for those of you who are in a position right now where you're trying to grow a Facebook group, you're trying to get more traffic to a specific offer, you need to be specific in your result. And Leslie is on this call, and she happens to also be in my mastermind. And so Leslie, this is something I can help you with, is we need to be specific in who you're serving. We need to be specific in the actual result that you're going to get them, right? And then we need to be more specific in how you're going to get it done. And so Jamie's Facebook group title covers all of those things, right? It covers each individual thing. And so it's so clear and obvious exactly what's happening. And yes, that's exactly right. When you have a Facebook group that's performing really well, Facebook does reward that Facebook group by showing it to more people. And so that happens naturally. And you know what? I mean, I specifically remember when Jamie and Jessica were coming onto the scene, I was even in groups going like, Jamie and Jessica, check out Jamie's group, check out Jamie's group. I was even in the big groups talking about Jamie. So that stuff does start to happen naturally, organically. And I think that's an awesome part of it. Like, if you're really, really clear on your marketing message. And I think what is really good to mention is like, you know, Jamie has like this, sure, we worked together for this last year and we went from, in this specific business, 0 to 500K, right? And that's an enormous amount of growth. But I think there's another part of this is like, Jamie has also, it's not an overnight success story, right?
That's what I wanted to make clear.
Yeah, this isn't an overnight success story. And sure, it can be marketed that way. I don't mind marketing that way to get you guys on this call to listen, right? Like, listen to how she did this in 1 year. But here's what I really want to reveal for you guys is, often what it takes is getting clear on who you are, who you really want to work with, right? How you're really going to help these people. And that's everything that Jamie did ultimately, right?
Yeah.
And before that, she was kind of like, maybe I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to do this. Right.
Exactly. I was not niche down. I was doing, so when I first started back October 2020, when I had my first client, I was like, online entrepreneur who wants to use Dubsado, HoneyBook. Those were the two I stuck to, because I was like, I don't have enough time to learn anything else. But I knew I could set those two up confidently. But online entrepreneur, I was doing wedding venues. I was doing, I got into a couple of coaching groups. I got into some, I did a setup for a gym for their customers. Like, there was so much there, and I was just kind of like throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what stuck. And when, I kind of got forced, not naturally, like I really believed that it was meant to serve this industry, because there's a huge need for time freedom and more profit and people not working themselves to death, like literally to death. I'm like, the things I read in some of these groups where so-and-so dropped dead of a heart attack at his desk, like that really happens. And I'm like, this is not healthy, because the industry is 60% women. And that means that there are 60% of the moms and wives and mother and grandmothers that are out there not working to a healthy lifestyle. And I want to help change that. So that all being said, it literally was a journey to finding who I am. And every iteration of Beachbody, of life coaching, of business coaching, of creating a babysitting business, of trying to create a meal planning business, every iteration there, I learned something new that I brought with me, plus my 10 years of experience working in healthcare IT. So I had over a decade of experience preparing me for this moment. So you yourself, I want you, and looking back, I'm like, now I'm like, I see all the pieces. Hindsight's always 20/20. I see all the pieces that brought me to this moment that has allowed me to open up into this industry and become a leader, become somebody that is sought after as a mentor in this very small cut of the pie of how they run their business. And that has been really empowering. And also scary as hell. Like, I won't be honest. Like, I put myself in some real scary places, and I've had to correct things, and I've had to apologize, and I've had to put myself, you know, like, because you get a little bit out on the tips of your skis sometimes, and it's scary. Your heart stops. And so I just want for you, like, look back on where you've worked. Look back on things that you find interest in. Like, I had an accounting degree. I never thought I'd touch accounting again. But here I am, I'm able to speak the language because of that experience I had back in undergrad. I have an MBA, which prepared me for having some higher level strategy conversations that I never thought I'd get to at this point in time. I thought it'd be another 10 years at least until I was in this, you know, the C-suite. But now I get to be in the C-suite and also help a lot of other C-suites. And that feels so good. So I think just look back on who you are, what you love, who you've known. Maybe you grew up in a construction family, or maybe you grew up in a family that ran a gym. Like, who can you serve because you kind of already have a bit of industry knowledge, and you can come in looking like the expert, even when you feel scared to death, because you know the jargon, you know at least most of how it works. And that will allow you to step into it naturally rather than forcing yourself into something that you're doing because everyone says it's the place to be. And, you know, like, cannabis is kind of one of those industries, not to call anyone out, but it's, people see it as a money maker. If you love smoking weed, more power to you. But if you don't have any experience with any of that world, it's going to feel very foreign to you. You won't fit the culture of it. I fit the culture of the tax pro industry and the accountants and the bookkeepers because I have the experience.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Is we try to fit ourselves into a niche because we think it's going to be the most profitable thing, or we think it's going to be the thing that works for us because somebody told us it was the right thing to do. And truthfully, that's how I landed in my niche with the holistic health. Is I thought I was supposed to be in construction because I worked in male dominated industries. I was in the arms industry, and then I did tree removal, right? And then I actually started landing more like dental, pediatricians, chiro, weight loss industry. And it was all holistic health based. And when I started doing that, I realized that's my space. And it's because it was where my interests were. It's because I could talk the talk. I understand that they wanted to help people, but they, like, financials was a completely foreign language for them, right? And so I could show up as a real leader for them. So I thought I was supposed to be somewhere else. And I think whenever we talk about niching, I always like to lean into it's for now, not forever, right? It's for now, not forever. And, you know, who knows, Jamie's doing this now, but in 5 years, we're probably going to be seeing her speak on stages, inspiring hundreds of thousands of women across the board. It might not just be tax pros, right? And I hope the same for me. But one thing that I will tell you is when you speak to a specific person, when you speak to a specific result, what happens is it opens the door up for people to say, that's for me. I need that, right? And that's really what happened to Jamie. And that's really why she's here, is, you know, why we wanted to highlight her story today. And being successful working with us, it wasn't so much about like, you know, she has a great product. She's also getting really great customer results and client results. And so that's another piece of this. But the marketing message and the message that you're providing is crucial. And we think that there's some secret to success. And the secret, you guys, is getting your marketing message clear. Like, that's the secret, I promise. Like, there it is.
And
once you have that down.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And I continue to hone that. Like I still continue to hone that with you today, Alyssa. Like even,
Yeah.
we've been working, I mean, it's been a full year now that I was in the mastermind, and I went through the 2 boot camps prior to that. And it's just
Yep.
learning from you about not only the marketing side, like how to put out content, but that the more critical part is that first step of continuing to clean up, iterate, clarify, specify who you're helping and how you're helping them is the number one goal of marketing, because the rest of it all just makes noise if you're not being specific about what you're doing for these people, the pain points that they have. So when I came into your program last year, my goal was, we had just launched a course. We had just grown this group to, 1,500 people, which was amazing. I wanted to know now, how do I monetize this? Because I'm burning out doing the one-to-one and the one-to and the live workshops. And so my solution was creating the course and making it kind of a hybrid. So we have the course, we have support, weekly support, we have, workshops that we do. But this was all because I was modeling off what Alyssa was doing. Honestly, my ticket price, or my pay point, or my price ticket is not as high as Alyssa's. So we're not as like hands-on as her and her team are, which is amazing support. And it's the reason I was successful over the last year. But we were, looking at what they were doing and saying, how can we recreate this in an automated fashion or in a self-service fashion that allows them to get the support that they need in a group setting and still find the success in the framework and the curriculum that we've created to help guide themselves. And again, becoming very clear with our messaging that we are not a do-it-for-you hand-holding group. We're here to support you when you ask the question, because you have to set those expectations with people. And I think a lot of people, especially in the early days, we tend to coddle our people a bit to success, which you have to do. Like, don't get me wrong. You need to get your people the results, but you also have to learn, how do I get them the results without me having to spoon feed them every step along the way? And I learned a lot of leadership from Alyssa and her team, because they were coming in and truly coaching the success of myself and the other people in the mastermind, to see how others are doing things, see what's working for others or not working for others, and how can I apply those learnings from others to my world. And so I've spent a lot of time over the last year looking at what's working for Alyssa, what's not, because she's very transparent and it's refreshing.
I'm very transparent with my failures, especially inside of my mentorship, inside of the mastermind. That's where I like spill the tea. I'm like, yep, this is what's going on. This is what's not working for us. This is where we've most recently failed. And I think that's important in mentorship. I don't think that there's enough people that are actually being transparent about business isn't always sexy. It is very challenging. And I think what's so great about that is like having someone say you're not alone, because often we think that when we're failing, that we're the only ones failing, right? When we backslide in our income, are we the only ones who backslid in our income? When we operate at a loss one month, am I the only person who's operating at a loss? Like if we had to fire somebody that we picked wrong because we were a bad picker in the beginning when we started our business, am I the only person who's going through new people, right? And the reality is I think it's so important for higher level entrepreneurs to hear that people that are doing 7 figures plus, we're all struggling with the same things. It's just at a different level. And so, I love that you're sharing that. And so we do have to wrap up here.
Yes.
But I would love for you to share. I think the one thing we're in our marketing message today, we're definitely speaking to more accountants, we're speaking to more bookkeepers, but you're somebody who's serving the same niche as me. And I'd love to hear your take on being part of a mastermind that's filled with really your ideal clients also. But I'd love to hear your take on like what it's like, because you still show up for the calls today, what it's like to be part of that mastermind. Do you feel like you're served well? And I'd like you to share that, because every once in a while we still get on calls with people who are, they want to build a course or they want to build a coaching business. and maybe serve a similar niche, or they're a CPA and they want to build a tax program, right? And they're not really sure if they should join us. And so can you help dispel any concerns around that?
Yeah. So when I originally joined the boot camp, it was a great opportunity to see what it's like to be kind of the standout of the group, where I wasn't, I was serving tax professional or, CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers. I felt a little odd. Like I felt kind of like, I hope she doesn't think like I'm poaching, because I'm actually learning from her. But being in this group, like the people that are in the group, and there's a few people that are kind of in the outskirts of like that arena. So they're not accountants, they're not bookkeepers, maybe they're financial advisors or, systems people like myself. And I've loved having the mix of all of the mindsets in there. So people are serving these different niches. We're often supporting each other. But the beauty of it is everybody's coming from a different perspective. So if I go in there and I ask a question about my niche and like, can you guys help me clarify this thing? I will, get that. But I selfishly am in a mastermind to learn from what's working for others. And there's people in there that are building programs. There's people in there that are building very specific like CFO services. There are people in there building their bookkeeping businesses. I am not asking them like, what are your pain points in automation in there? I am literally watching them to see what are they trying that they're either really doing well on that I could try, or that they're struggling with that I either can give feedback in of because I've done something similar, or I've built a large Facebook group that we're managing, with automation and like still serving everyone really well with a great client experience. Like I love being able to give back to that group because I'm getting so much. So it's a give and take, and it's a reciprocation of energy. And you guys have set up a beautiful environment where we can do that. So even though the clients that you're serving today, like your primary focus is this financial professional, I still get to learn so much from you, Alyssa, because you have created the course, you have created the hiring of a team, you have done the financial side of things. So when I'm talking with you about my struggles, I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds, where it's somebody who has a financial professional background, but also has this like course creator marketing, experience. And I feel like I'm so blessed to get to be a part of this community and to help serve you as well. I love celebrating what you have brought to my world, and I will not stop doing that, because I know you have also helped like nearly like 75 of our clients also learn marketing. And I will continue to shout from the rooftops that if you want to learn how to market on social media, you need to get in front of Alyssa and her team. And if you want to learn how to run a business, particularly a financial professional business of accounting, tax professionals, bookkeeping, Alyssa and her team know what they are doing, and they will guide you there. The reason I buy into any mastermind or any course is because I want to learn how to do it faster. And that is exactly what Alyssa and her team have helped me do. Like she said, we went from $0 in courses to $500,000 in the last 12 months in working with Alyssa and her team. And that is just the course. That doesn't include our done for you. That doesn't include our, workshops that we did. The 7 magic posts, the leadership that I've learned from Alyssa, and the get out of my own way skills that I've learned from Alyssa and her team have helped us get to this point. And I am forever grateful and indebted to them, and will be a part of this community as long
I'm
as
gonna cry.
Well, it's true.
Like, you so emotional just hearing you say that. It does not get old helping people like breaking through and building businesses and having these major wins. Man, I don't know if there will ever be a day where I'm just like, yup, another person was successful with us. Like, I don't know if that will ever happen. I get emotional, I get goosebumps. It feels so magical and new and amazing every single time. I'm really proud of you. And it's been amazing working with Jamie as well, because she's just an amazing client. Like she does it, right? Jamie's like, what do I do? And we're like, go do it. And she does it. And so that's an important piece of it. Like, I can't take all of the credit. She takes action. She knows what she wants. She's goal oriented. She's a no BS person who's like, I'm here to serve this community to the best of my ability. I want to change lives like you do, and I'm about to, and I'm going to. So show me the way. And I say, here it is. And she's like, I'm on it. So we are going to drop our link today. We're currently in the process of, we're doing our trial for our mastermind that Jamie is in. So if you're interested in being part of our higher level mastermind, so this is where we offer a 100K guarantee. It is a 12-month mastermind. We offer a 100K guarantee in that program. So we guarantee you that you will make $100,000 in addition to whatever revenue that you already have. We have that guarantee because we believe so much in our product. We believe so much in our mastermind. And there's such we want to make sure that every single person is successful with us. And we give you a success path to building that $100,000. We don't do this all the time. We've done it. This is only our second time doing it. We're about to close the doors on it. Today is our last day that we're booking calls to do that trial. So if you are interested in trying the mastermind, this means you get to join for 1 month, try it out, love it or leave it. If you are like not interested, if you join the mastermind, you're in it for a month, you're like, you know what, this isn't my thing, you get to leave. It's 0 risk to you, right?
Wow.
And the reason that we're doing this is because we realize in the marketplace, people are joining things and they are unhappy. And so we thought, well, we believe so much in our program that we know once people get in, they're not going to want to leave. So let's just let them try it. So we're giving you a love it or leave it trial where you can try our mastermind for 1 month. You join for 1 month. And then you don't have to sign a 12-month contract. That's pretty much what this is come in, take a test drive, take a taste test with us. See if it's something you want to do. So I dropped that link, and you're going to be with other high-level entrepreneurs like Jamie Gruol, like Shanita Jones, who's a CPA, is in there. She has a 7-figure company. She just got her 2 Comma Club award. And Jenny Buck is in there as well. She's part of our mastermind. There's a ton of other women who are incredibly successful, who are implementing the same exact strategies. We don't have men yet, but we're taking men. We will accept you.
Ooh.
We're taking men.
Well,
we're opening our niche up to men because I'm like, we'll just stop using babe in our content, and we're here for the dudes too. Like we want to help some of our dudes get successful as well.
I think anyone who is who has ambitions for creating a life of abundance, of growth, of bringing others into their fold and helping their communities. It's such a powerful community that Alyssa and Alexis and Ali and all of the team at Alyssa's company have built. And in a month, guys, you could implement like some of their strategies and you could probably see 10K, right? Like I know people have done 30K in the boot camp. You get the boot camp stuff plus all of the other strategy, and leaning into their leadership. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I hope you guys take advantage of this because it will transform your life and it will transform your business wholly.
Yeah. So today's our last day that we're pitching this. I actually sent out an email on Monday and I said 24 hours, but then Jamie and I we realized we were doing this call and I was like, well, I'll just extend it. And so we'll do it today. We'll say this is the last time. Yeah. So Jamie's like, I'm going to help you. I want to get on that call and to support this too. So today really is the last day that we're pitching this trial period. So if you want to book that call, find out more, see if you're qualified for that 100K guarantee, see if this trial is for you, and speak with one of us. We dropped that link for you. And then I have a bunch of people who said, I like when I get the emails that say babe. So maybe we'll just keep it we'll just keep calling you all babe. So everyone gets to be a hot babe, even the dudes in our community. So I love it. All right.
Yes.
Well, I do have to get home. I actually have a sick kiddo at home right now. He's not sick. He just has a really bad cough. And my mom is there, but she said she's got to leave at 2. So I have like 9 minutes
Okay.
to drive home, which my drive is about 6 minutes. So it should be good. But
Perfect.
thank you all so much for jumping on today. And if you guys have any questions for me, any questions for Jamie, really quick, plug where people can find you. Let's drop
Yes.
the link too for them if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
go
am
right into our Facebook group and plug it, put your
Yeah.
link on our
Okay.
Facebook group on the
Yeah.
live stream. That's the best place to do
Beautiful.
it. So we'll
Yeah.
do that for you guys. If you want to see where else you can find Jamie. And we
Yeah.
actually have some stuff coming up with Jamie again next month. You'll have to be on the lookout for that. So she's going to be back in the group next month,
Yes.
talking more about systems with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Automation.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you
Alyssa.
so much.
Thank you all.
Bye. Talk to you later.